I know leaders when I see them. I also know idiots when I see them. You can imagine the combination of both of them, the disaster it is. If you are a leader and an idiot, it's a disaster, absolute disaster. It is even worse, even more dangerous, if the very people who hold the power in their hands decide that they will be manipulated and played around for some interest by idiots.
So I know you've heard about the statements that Rwandan president said to South African president. He told Ramaphosa, if you didn't hear it, that I'm ready to combat you if you want to combat us. This is after the president of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, told Rwandan president Paul Kagame that he should leave DRC alone and he should get the hell out of DRC. You know, also remember the M23 were responsible for the death of those 13, I don't know, 14, some sources are saying 13, some sources are saying 14, South African soldiers were killed in a peace mission. These people came to bring peace, but they were killed by Rwandan-backed M23 rebels. You know, so Africans are here fighting online and complaining, trying to show that, hell, you Rwanda, a small country, trying to threaten us, South Africa. You know the issue that goes on between South Africans and Nigerians, and now it's between South Africans and Rwanda. Think of how big South Africa is, and think of how big Nigeria is, and then now think of how small Rwanda is. I don't despise the people of Rwanda. I like Rwanda for how clean it is, how technologically advanced it is, but they are technologically advanced with stolen minerals. They have stolen minerals from their neighbors to come and build themselves. You see, robbing Peter to pay Paul does not make you right. Two wrongs don't make a right. Now, without these issues of morality, let's talk about the online conflict happening between the black people in South Africa and the black people in Rwanda. These people are now this way, you know. Everyone is on their keyboard, fighting here, fighting there. There's this South African who is giving his perspective upon this statement that was issued by Rwandan President Paul Kagame. Let's listen to it. I shall get back.
Yeah, 13 soldiers, South African soldiers have died in the DRC. Paul Kagame of Rwanda deliberately targeted South African base in the DRC. Paul Kagame, the leader of Rwanda, through his M23 rebels, deliberately targeted peacekeepers, of which South Africa is part of it, using sophisticated weapons that even a rebel army cannot have. They could only have been sponsored and given by Paul Kagame, who sponsors M23 rebels. So I don't know why there is some sugarcoating. Why are we sugarcoating a criminal of Paul Kagame's nature? Why are we sugarcoating him? He has just killed our people here, and there is no need for for us to sit down with him to understand what he is doing. There is no need to negotiate with him, because the South African army is there to keep the peace. So it was not fighting anyone. It was there to keep the peace. It was deliberately and directly targeted by Paul Kagame's goons, so-called M23 rebels. For those who do not know, if you go back all the way to 1998, Paul Kagame and Yoweri Museveni helped Kabila to come into power. After helping Kabila, they now wanted him to be their puppet, which he refused. They then decided to attack him, leading to Namibia, Zimbabwe, and Angola going into DRC to make sure that Kinshasa did not fall. And during that time, the only way Paul Kagame's ambitions were thwarted is when Mugabe told him they are going to bomb Kigali. Mugabe deliberately told Paul Kagame, if I send my jet fighters in there, are you going to be able to defend yourself? That is the only time that Paul Kagame started to understand, because he understands nothing else but violence. He used violence to get where he is. He has been killing his own people here in South Africa. His own buddies, he has been killing them. One of the worst one was the suffocation of one of his goons at Michelangelo in Sentin. So this guy is unhinged because, guess what? He was trained in America. Where? At Langley. Who is at Langley? It's the CIA. Those are the people who are interested in the minerals in the Eastern DRC. And we continue to sugarcoat him. He is the same guy who recently signed a deal to repatriate Africans from Europe to Rwanda. A sellout of naught. And we continue to sugarcoat him. We continue to run around him. What is happening in South Africa? There is no need to negotiate here. We know who killed the 13 soldiers. It's Paul Kagame. It's Rwanda. No one else. So why are we sugarcoating and going around everything when we know who is causing problems in the DRC? As for whether South African army is equipped or not, or whether our soldiers are equipped or not, remember, our soldiers are not there to fight a war. Our soldiers are there to keep the peace, not to fight and engage in a war. They were deliberately targeted. So in situations where you have peacekeeping force, you do not send a whole battalion as if we are going to take over DRC. No. You send limited resources to make sure that they keep the peace according to the accords that are signed, of which in this case, the M23 rebels and Paul Kagame were not supposed to be attacking Goma or North Kivu or anywhere. So there was no need to reinforce our soldiers in that situation, because it was a surprise attack, because it was they were not supposed to. If anything, Paul Kagame is a war criminal that must be held to book. Remember, he is the same guy who killed the Burundi and Rwandan presidents who were Hutu majorities. He bombed their plane as it was landing from an AU meeting, leading to the start of the genocide. So you can see this guy does not understand nothing. He understands nothing else except violence. Trying to negotiate with him, trying to speak to him, trying to sugarcoat him, trying to serenade him will not help. Our soldiers will die. I like what Mugabe did to him in 2000. He told him, I'll come there. And that is when he started we started knocking sense into that war criminal who just won an election 99% in his own country. His own people are so afraid. They would rather just vote for him to keep the peace. Otherwise, we would have another genocide 2.0. So let us not talk. Other people are running and saying, yeah, our soldiers are not equipped. Hey, they are not going there to fight a war. They are going there to keep the peace. As they are going there to keep the peace, you have minimal equipment. Yes, the Sandifis might be facing problems here and there. But it's not like Cabo Delgado in Mozambique, where we know that our soldiers are going to really engage Islamists or so-called Western-backed terrorists in DRC, in Mozambique. No, it's not like that. In DRC, they are keeping the peace. Yes, as we do, as the South African government does housekeeping as far as Sandif is concerned, we must still address the issue of Paul Kagame and how he has killed 13 South African soldiers. How he has killed 13 South African soldiers. Those soldiers didn't expect that they are keeping the peace. They were not attacking anyone. They were just attacked. Right? And I wonder why South Africa is sugarcoating this guy. Simple and straightforward. They must not be sugarcoating this guy. He has engaged, and he has engaged in killing. Simply now send the whole cavalry of SADC to go and teach him a lesson in Rwanda. Teach him a lesson.
Hey, Paul Kagame is losing his mind right now, okay? And he's ready to fight any country that will try to intervene the war between Rwanda and M23 and the Congo DRC, y'all. He's ready. Even tell South Africa, like, are you ready? Let's go in a ring. And so I just want to ask you guys, who do you think is going to win between South Africa and Rwanda? Where am I South African at? This is taking another phase. What do you guys think? Let me know.
You know, listening to all this, I feel like laughing and I also feel like crying at the same time. I have a mixed reaction. Because when I think that black people are now fighting one another over something that they don't even take part in it, over goodness, South Africans and Rwandans. This is not your problem, guys. This is the problem of the white people, the white colonialist. He's the one who brought this problem to Africa. The colonialist, the people who built those boundaries, those artificial boundaries, you know, these are the real problem. If we didn't have those boundaries, we wouldn't have this fight. If we didn't have those, the West influence in Africa, we wouldn't have this, because it's clear. Rwanda itself does not have what it takes to topple such a big country as DRC if they are not backed up. Rwanda is backed up by the West. Those materials, those weapons, those machineries they are using to attack DRC are not manufactured anywhere in Africa. Those manufactured arms are from the West and not from Russia as well, you know. It is either they are from Europe or they are from the United States of America. You know, we have troops, we have Rwandese troops fighting for the Americans in the Middle East. And also we have, Paul Kagame made some amendments. He made some agreements with the, I think it was the British government, where he would welcome those refugees from Britain to Rwanda, you see. And all this for you to do, you need to have some set of agreement. You need to be graced, you need to be given some money. So Paul Kagame is not acting on himself. And this brother who is comparing the mightiness between Rwanda and South Africa, come on, I don't find any logical thing to fight on in this. You see, South Africa is a very big country. And let me tell you, someone who is saying that they'll easily topple Rwanda. Rwanda has achieved all this to topple, even to capture a country in DRC, because it is not alone. There is some forces behind it. So South Africa should also be wary of this, you see. There is a Swahili proverb that goes, ukiona kichwa cha mwenzako kimenyolewa, basi tia lako maji. If you see your brother's hair has been shaved, it's high time you start putting soap and water in your hair for your hair to be shaven. That is how we shave hair in Africa. We use soap and water and razor. So if you see your neighbor's head has been shaven, prepare yours. You are next, you know. So this conflict here and there, I don't find any logical reason to fight. No. I don't find any. Africans should just learn to come together and work together. These are just agendas by the West to make us weak and to topple us down. Yeah. I hope we are clever enough to see their agendas. Yeah. This is EFK Original Documentaries. If you like what I do, subscribe to the channel. I will so much surely appreciate. And see you in the next one. Thank you.